Assalamu alaikum. What? That's it? I thought I was in a youth conference. I am? Okay, let's make it known. Ayn al-Shabab. I thought the youth were responsible for the Arab Spring. I thought the youth had a voice. You sure? All right, let's try it again. Let's see if we can do this better. Assalamu alaikum. That's more like it. All right, we got it right the second time. Fantastic. I like the energy in the room. Some of you maybe are still asleep, so I'm not going to take too long because I know there's a scheduled break. I think we've already encroached into the break, so I'm looking forward to some Turkish coffee too, so I'll keep it short, inshallah. So I've been asked to talk about a topic called how does business boost culture? Now, the argument is that sport boosts culture and peace. Absolutely not. I don't believe in that. When's the last time did you hear or did you see two individuals, two brothers, maybe two friends going to a football match, supporting two sides, one on one side, the other on the other side, and after the football match, they went and embraced each other with a warm hug? When's the last time you saw that? Never, right? In fact, they're each other's throats. I mean, I come from Britain, and the British are known for football hooliganism. We're commonly known for that across Europe. However, I think business, on the other hand, does boost culture. And that's my argument, and I'm going to show you how it does, right? How business encourages or helps or boosts. It does a better job at boosting culture. Now, when you go into business, one of the primary things you're most likely going to be doing is going into partnerships with people. You're going to go into collaboration with people. You can't do business by yourself. I tell you, I've been in business for 17 years, and business isn't easy, but it is not impossible, right? And it helps when you work together, when you partner with other people, and you collaborate together. And what that really does when you do that is you learn about other people's culture. You learn, you might be in partnership with people who are from a different culture, from a different country, different place, different background, different personality. So it encourages tolerance, it encourages understanding. The other thing that I absolutely love about business is you get to hear so many stories. Everybody has a story. All the entrepreneurs that came on stage all had a story. From rags to riches, being a refugee, then coming into a country and then making the riches, becoming wealthy. There's always a story. Everybody in here has a story. I would love to talk to every single one of you and find out about your story. That's the beautiful thing and the amazing thing about entrepreneurship and business. See, I myself have a story as well, and I'd like to share just a little snippet about my own story. I lost my father when I was 16 years old. I had 6 younger siblings, and both myself and my widowed mother, single mother, we had to raise them together. I was 16, so I was slightly older, than the rest of them. My youngest brother was 5 years old. Now, I looked at my mother after my father died, and we had eye-to-eye contact. And it's just that we gave a signal to each other that it's always going to be okay, right? We're going to do it. And my mother really is the real rock behind me, is the real inspiration behind me. Literally, everything that I am and I ever will be, I owe it to my mother. Let's give a round of applause for everybody's mother, please. I went to university. I dropped out after 1 year. I didn't know what the hell I was doing there, right? I thought I'd take a year break. And then in that year, I got into IT. I did really well. Then I got into a job. I did fantastically well. And then my entrepreneurial calling started. I started my first business at the age of 19, and I failed in that business. I started my second business. What do you think happened? I failed in that business. I started my third business. What do you think happened? I failed in that business. I started my 4th business. What do you think happened? Success. All right. Thank you. Alhamdulillah, I'm so proud to say that that business is in the Islamic fashion business. In fact, me and Kareem, we're like competitors, but we're friends, right? And we have great discussions when we get to meet at events like this. Alhamdulillah, that business is 12 years on now. Just this year, we celebrated our 12th year anniversary. Our products are distributed across 60 plus countries around the world. We have 21 international retail franchises in countries like Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Kuwait, Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, Egypt. Our products are distributed across the continents, also Turkey too, just to name a couple. And it's amazing what I learned. You know, one of the things that I actually used to dream about when I was a kid was to travel a lot, right? But I didn't know how I was going to do that, right? And why, you know, I just want to travel. I want to experience the world. And business allowed me to do that. Certain countries, in the last couple of years, I lived in, and I traveled to over 30 different countries. I stayed in some of those, you know, for a short time, others long time. One of the countries I lived in for a short while was Egypt. Anyone here from Egypt? Raise your hands, please. Anybody? Hardly any? Come on, don't be shy. Raise your hands if you're from Egypt. Let me guess your name over there. Your hand's over there. Mahmoud? Is that your name? Ahmed? Ihab? Yes, Ahmed. Right? Muhammad, Mahmoud, Ihab. Exactly, right? Walid, right? Common names in Egypt. I used to impress my friends when they used to come and visit me and I was in Egypt. I used to say, you know, I know a lot of people in Egypt. They're like, really? Yeah, I do. You want to see? It's like, okay, right? We'd go to a shopping mall or a marketplace and I'd say, watch, right? And I would shout at the top of my voice, Ahmed, right? And so many people get, where, right? I'll say, yeah. Salam alaikum, salam alaikum. This is what I would do. And be like, wow, you know a lot of people, but it's some common name. The other thing I loved about Egypt was, who knows what IBM is? IBM? Okay. So many people know IBM. It's a computer system, right? So Egypt created their own IBM. So I had a factory there and I had an office there. I employed over 50 Egyptians from all parts of Egypt, Upper Egypt, Lower Egypt, but Upper Egypt is actually south. The map got turned upside down at some point. And I used to go to the markets to buy machineries and fabrics and supplies for my factory. So I'd go to the market and I'd go to the shopkeeper and I'd say to the shopkeeper, okay, I'm looking for this item, do you have it? And he'll be like, inshallah, tomorrow, Habibi, tomorrow, inshallah. I'd be like, really? Because, I have to travel 3 hours, Cairo, horrendous traffic to come to you, okay? Right, at the end of the day, my face is smoked up because of the pollution. You sure you're going to have it? He said, inshallah, I'm going to have it. Okay? It's like, okay. So come the next day, right? I make my way to the market. And, Habibi, do you have it? Do you have the machinery part? And he looks at me with a sad face. He's like, Bukra. Okay? Bukra. I said, are you absolutely sure you're going to have it tomorrow? He's like, inshallah, Bukra. Okay? So I go away. So I come back a couple of days later, giving him the opportunity to get the machinery part together. So I come to him and I'll be like, Habibi, do you have it today? I really need this part. My factory is, not working because I need this machinery part. And he'll be like, Wallahi, malish. Malish, okay? And I'm like, what? Malish means sorry, right? Afwan. So he's been like, malish, I'm sorry. I'm like, what do you mean? This is the third time I've come to you. And you said, inshallah, the first day. You said, bukra the next day. And now you're saying to me, you're sorry, right? So this is where I learned IBM. Inshallah, malish, bukra malish. And whenever people come to me and they want to travel to Egypt and they ask me about, what should I expect in Egypt? That's the 3 words I teach them. I said, watch out for these 3 words, okay? It's quite common. So doing global business, and I've had the pleasure to create an international company. And doing global business and doing business in lots of countries really teaches you and allows you to appreciate, build tolerance. I tell you, another thing I learned in Egypt, right, was patience. You go to do something, you have a certain timeline, okay, and they have another timeline, right? Once I went to open up a bank in Ahli Bank, right, you will not believe, right? I swear to God, you will not believe. I walked into the bank, okay, at 9 o'clock in the morning, right, and I walked out the bank at 8 o'clock just to open up a business account. Okay, and I had a lawyer with me who said, I know a friend in there. We'll get it done quick. I'm like, really? Okay, let's go. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I haven't got time. We've got to get things done quick. Okay, I walked into the bank at 9 o'clock in the morning. I walked out at 8 o'clock. The bank closes at 4 o'clock. Okay, and we were still there 4 hours later. The managers had to come down, and at the end, the account was open. I deposited the required money, but there was a file this big. Okay, so I said to my lawyer friend, I said, tomorrow you'll come with me to HSBC Bank. I'm going to go and open an account in HSBC Bank. Go in, 10 minutes, account open. One piece of paper to sign, done. Right? So, but I still love Egypt. Now, the other important thing to remember in business is that, people ask me, Harun, why do you keep referencing business to Islam and Muslim? What's that got to do with business? Business and Islam, what's that got to do with business? And I say, it's got everything to do with business. Islam and Muslim has got everything to do with business. And I tell you why. Okay? If you look at the early Muslims, right, because they spread the culture of Islam through trade. Raise your hands if you know this for a fact. Right? They spread the culture of Islam through trade. Okay? They were so ethical, so honest, and people saw this, and they trusted them. Right? Because of that, whole countries like Indonesia, parts of Malaysia became Muslim. Right? Isn't that an amazing thing? How you can pass a culture onto another country and make an influence, right, through trade and business, right? Isn't that great? It's fantastic, right? What I also realized, what I learned, alhamdulillah, last year I was able to travel to Palestine. We were invited and honored to have been invited by the mayor of Hebron. Thank you. MashaAllah. So I'm going to only say good things. Or you're never going to invite me back. Well, no. I tell you honestly, what we see when we're living somewhere else and looking out, and what the media, right, and agenda-driven news that we get, right, sometimes when you go and when you travel and you experience, right, you have a whole different view and a whole different perception. Your perceptions are challenged. And I encourage every one of you to travel as much as you can. Okay, you're young, you can do it, you don't have responsibilities, right? You can travel, and you see how your mind opens up. I have never met a well-traveled man or woman, and I haven't found wisdom in them. Okay, right? Yet when people don't travel and they get cooped up and they stay in their little bubble, right? You always find that the level of consciousness, even intelligent, is very, very low. So I was in Egypt last year. Alhamdulillah, we got to meet hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs. An event was organized for us. You know what I realized? You can barricade people. You can colonize people. You can put borders on people, right? You can restrict people. You can build high walls, right, to keep some people out and most of the people in, okay? But the one thing that you cannot colonize, you cannot control, you cannot conquer, you cannot dominate is the mind. What I found was so amazing is how entrepreneurial the people in Palestine were, right? Absolutely amazing how visionary these people were, right? We were running a course at that time called Ecom Empires Academy, right? This is how to generate business, right, on the internet and do e-commerce businesses. Now, the thing is, you don't need, internet has no borders. There's no restrictions, right? Alhamdulillah, a lot of the people who attended took on the course and are already making money, right? You can't transfer products out of the country or bring in products out of the country, because there's nothing stopping you from, being where you are and doing business somewhere else, okay? There's nothing stopping you. Once I was at a conference and I was asked a question that if you were stuck in an island, what 3 things would you take with you? If you were going to be just left in an island, what 3 things would you take with you? So I said, I'll take a laptop or a phone, a device, right? I'll take internet, right? And I'll take a knife. And people looked at me and said, we get the laptop or the phone, we get the internet, but what about the knife? There's no commonality. Well, I was like, I have to eat, right? I got to hunt and I got to eat, okay? So with internet and the digital world that we're living in right now, right? With the whole trend of doing online business. I mean, once upon a time, the culture, and the infrastructure of business was people used to barter, okay? And then people were exchanging money. We had dusty marketplaces. Right now, with the online, okay, this is changing, right? And the opportunity is literally open to everybody, right? It is not restricted. A lot of the countries that my product, my company's product goes to, I haven't been there yet, right? Lots of parts of Russia we deliver our products to. I haven't been there yet, right? Yet I'm able to do business there, right? So it's all down to what you believe about yourself, right? It's all down to your mindset. It's all down to whether you believe you can achieve, you believe you can do it, you believe that you have the capacity and the ability and I would say, the drive and the motivation to want to do it, to want to achieve it. You've got to have the will, the resources, the knowledge, all of that is still there. So time is very short, and I know tea's coming up. So my final remarks is this, we are living right now in what's called a shared economy, right? And companies like Uber and Airbnb have allowed, an increased trust and transparency between people. They've allowed people to share their possessions and their facilities and in the process make a profit. What we believe that the future is one of collective economy. Collective economy is where people come together, right? They work together. They work for each other with a single vision, right? And that vision is to dominate industries. Earlier this year, we started a program called the Leverage Program, right? April 2017. And we have literally thousands of people from around the world who've come together, right? And with a single objective, and that is to dominate an industry, right? And we've targeted the health and fitness industry. Now, although we met some of our business objectives, the one thing that stood out for us, and the one thing that we learned, right, is that there's a huge diversity of culture, right? Imagine this. How did I come to this event? I met a brother in Palestine at that event, right? And when they were asking, the volunteers to recommend speakers, he made a recommendation of me. Do you know what that's called? That's called leverage, okay? Imagine if everybody in here were to work together where the person sitting next to you, you cared about them more than about yourself. You cared about their success, and everybody here cared about each other's success. What is the chances of us failing? 0. And we increase the chances of us succeeding. In the world today, the 1% of the population, the wealthiest, own the resources of the 50% of the poorest. How are you, the 50%, going to compete with that 1%? Right? The only way you're going to do that is by working together. The only way you're going to do that is through a collective economy venture. Okay, so my time is really short, guys. I just want to say final one-sentence remark or a 2-3-sentence remark perhaps is that the youth, right, you have the opportunity and you are allowed to make mistakes, right? Mistakes that you're going to learn from and learning from others' mistake, right? So don't hold yourself back, all right? And I encourage everybody to embrace entrepreneurialism, okay? Be enterprising, right? You got an idea, you got a vision, you love it and you believe in it, just go for it, right? Sometimes it's worth taking the risk, and you never know where you're going to be in 10, 12 years' time. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.